Where did this cut come from? Quarter inch into my palm. Did I really have forgotten this? Could this one moment be missing? What else did I forget? Time. I remember forgetting time. I remember being so surprised by not having a context. No relation to anything else around me. No, it doesn't matter how hard you try to believe time. You can't. Even after you live through it. You know that it happened. I know that it happened, but I don't remember it. I remember feeling what mortality meant and what that realization was like with someone else. She was cold to the point that kept her from shivering. You could see it in the stillness and the paleness of her skin. It's easier to accept death than one would think. When there's nothing that can be done and when you can't even move to get out of the way, you accept it. All we could do was shake our heads and tell each other we were sorry. There was no embrace the way you would hope if two people were sitting and waiting for death. What could there be? Our arms were trapped, tethered to our bodies, patients from mental hospital. We weren't far from it. In those hours, hell came in silent waves. We would comfort each other with eye contact and the few words we could muster, but only in the brief moments where it was possible, when you would become aware that you were someplace tangible. Now, the majority of our last moments together was solitude, indescribable in the horror it brought. There would be no moment to say goodbye. We could only acknowledge to each other that though we felt better now, that at any moment we would be gone again. Our bodies would tense, more like being squeezed past the point where my air ran out, immersed in some place where the rules and barriers of the world had no part in. Then all would stop. I'd be back in my world, back in this stranger's tent. Even if God had been crushing me moments before, I had to thank him for allowing us to stay in this tent. Where they were, I did not know, and it did not really concern me. We needed shelter, and they would have to understand. After 5 hours trapped in our own hell, we were released from it. We crawled out of the tent and into the world that was much brighter than ever before, even in the night. We had been granted a gift in our ignorance. We saw death. We lived in our last moments on earth, only to survive and walk with steps more vivid and alive than ever before. After that night, two things happened. I would never look at this world the same, and I would forever appreciate the Grateful Dead.